Kodi mwenye alikuti? Mwenye waku Crossroads Hotel Sameer Sacrane alikuti ndi nkhani imene inamanga nthenje mnyumba ya malamulo. Tikulandireni kwina kulikonse kumene muli pa
Malawi Today.
Malawi lero. Pamene nduna ya zachitetezo inayima mnyumba ya malamulo dzulo, olemekezeka a Peter Mukhito anakambako nkhani yakubedwa kwa mwenye, ndipo anakamba kuti pali dongosolo loyenera komanso pakuchitika chilichonse chothekera kuti mkulu ameneyo apezeke komanso apezeke ali moyo. Ndipo anatsimikizira nyumbayi kuti apolisi ndi achitetezo ena onse akuchita chothekera. Nde patangokambidwa zimenezi chifukwa choti nduna anakamba nkhani imeneyi, nde munabuka tu nkoke komanso munabuka mawu osiyanasiyana. Ena mwayo ndi ochokera kwa Ayuba James. Nkhani yathu kwambiri tidekha kwambiri pa Ayuba James chifukwa iwowa adayankhula zinthu zonena kuti aliyense anali nazo chidwi kwambiri. Nkhani yake amanena kuti mkulu amene uja mmene anabedwera pakufunika kuti pazabwere ripoti lomveka bwino, chifukwa taonapo mbuyo anthu ena akubedwa ndi kulengeza ku public kuti wakuti wabedwa, koma atapezeka palibe public announcement ina iliyonse imene inabwera. Zinthu zinalengezedwe ku gulu kuti munthu chawapezeka anakangoperekedwa mwachinsisi. Kotero iziziso ngati zikuyenera kuti zichitike moteromo ndesi zikhala bwino, koma pakufunika kuti pakhale ndondomeko yomveka bwino. Akapezeka boma lizanene alizalengeze kuti munthu chawapezeka komanso chinachitika ndi chakuti. Chifukwa mukuona kwa Ayuba James akuona ngati kuti zinthu zija zinali zongopangana, chifukwa munthu woyenera kuti akubedwa kapena kuti akuchitidwa chipongwe amenera kuti avute posatengera kuti anthuwo anyamula mifuti kapena chane. Ndi nkhani yayikulu ndi imeneyo. Takhalani pompo kuti mumve Ayuba James.
The one or the Mango Kota Central. You have the floor. Check the other microphone next to you, sir. Have the floor, sir.
Now you can hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, and the people from Kota Central can hear you well.
The wise people. Thank you so much, Honorable First Deputy Speaker, for recognizing the people from Kota Central constituency to make... Who is trying to hack my mic? Okay. Honorable First Deputy Speaker, I would first want to give a background and then I will with that news. And almost everyone panicked and worried about the safety of the victim of the abduction. But when this person was discovered, if I may say, if I may use that language, or handed back to his owners, there was no statement that was made to the public. The circumstances under which the abduction took place were not explained. People have been left to guess whether the abduction was real or staged. Now, while we still have those questions in mind, a second abduction has taken place. We only hope that the abducted person is alive and that will be retained alive. But our fear is that, like the previous abduction, there will be no explanation after the person has been found or discovered as to what happened. The abduction is always publicly done and publicly announced. But the recovery of the person is never announced. And whether an investigation has been carried out to establish the circumstances of the abduction has never been explained to the nation. Now, with that in the background of our minds, I would like to appeal to the Honorable Minister of Homeland Security that should we manage to recover this person, which we pray should be the case, a statement needs to be made to the public regarding the circumstances of the abduction. I'm not a security expert, but the video of the abduction leaves a lot to be desired. I mean, you can't be just captured like a sick chicken. You've got to struggle, even if you know the person has a gun. You've got to struggle. That abduction is questionable, in my honest view. Yes. We can't be afraid to raise these questions. They're legitimate questions. Every ordinary person who can analyze that video with a reasonable sense of interrogation would leave a lot of unanswered questions as to whether this was a real crime of abduction or a staged abduction. And this is why an explanation has to be made after the person has been recovered. Secondly, through you, Mr. First Deputy Speaker, sir, the Malawi Police Service, I'm not saying they should do this openly. I'm not sure if that would be in line with the security protocols. But if the Malawi Police Service has no capacity on its own, I think it's time that you sought help from people that are experts. This is an emergency. We still proceed on the assumption that this is a crime that was not staged for the goodness of the people that are victims, or that are affected by this. We still proceed on that assumption. And proceeding on that very same assumption, I think it is only good that the Malawi Police Service should seek urgent help from partners that have the expertise. We know that our cyber security experts are only Facebook experts. For 5 years, they could not know who was Bakiri Muluzi TV, when the politicians knew. For 5 years. Now, with that in our mind, we cannot trust that the Malawi Police Service has the capacity, forensic expertise, to handle such a situation, assuming it is a real crime. I think it's time we got humble enough and call in our partners, whoever they are, to help us. Mr. First Deputy Speaker, sir, I would like to wind up by saying that the Malawi Police Service must take deliberate initiative to invest in cyber security. Security is no longer manual. You pass out 1,000 graduates every year, all they know is to do a parade and bang their boots on the ground. None of them has forensic expertise. And you think you can manage our security with that manual approach? Security has no. They're not from Usunde. They're from across the nation. Security has advanced, the point I'm making. Chinua Achebe says about Enega the bird, because man has learned to shoot without missing, I have learned to fly without perching. Malawi Police is still perching. It is not flying without perching. When people have learned to shoot without what? Missing. It has to learn to fly without perching. It is 50 years or 100 years backwards. I think this House must also have time to consider that in order to see to it that Malawi Police Service has the necessary support that it needs, be it financial, whatsoever, to upgrade its capacity to handle such issues. We can't be manual in the 21st century and think we can manage the security of the nation. That's impossible. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for that submission. We'll recognize the honour member for Lilongwe, Mchinji South. And finally, Mchinji South, you have the floor.
Thank you.
For 5 minutes, please.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable First Deputy Speaker, for recognizing the people of Mchinji South to contribute on the matter which is in the House now. And also let me thank the Minister of Homeland Affairs for the timely update and also the assurance to the country about what the police, or the nation rather, is doing on the abduction. But my rising now is a concern that I feel that maybe the country is not moving with time. The only link that we can actually trust on this matter is the CCTV footage that was shot at the hotel. My point is to know when will the country install at least some CCTV cameras on some strategic places. Because if we had plenty of them, we would have actually been able to see where the car was going. If we go to most of the countries now, you'll find that most of the strategic streets have got CCTV, which in most cases lead to the arrest of the cases of this kind. So I'm actually asking, when will this country at least have some CCTVs on some strategic places or strategic roads around the city? Thank you so much. I submit.
Thank you. The honorable member, what constituency is it? The one rising in a black suit? Sorry?
Lilongwe Mpande constituency.
Lilongwe Mpande.
Yes.
Okay. I'm hearing that name possibly for the second time. So please make sure you rise more so I take hold of your constituency, please. You have the floor for 5 minutes, sir.
Thank you, the Deputy Speaker, for giving me Lilongwe Mpande constituency this opportunity to comment on the report which the Honourable Minister has presented in the House. First of all, I would like to agree to what the MCP whip has proposed, that maybe if the family or maybe the government would set up like a figure, like a reward, which maybe will lead to arrest of the suspects, I think it was going to help. And I also like to agree with the Honorable Korawara Sento that the action of the abduction, somebody tended to wonder that if that was real. And the other thing is, up to now, maybe I've missed something, but the family of the victim, they haven't even said anything about the abduction, whether coming in public to complain or maybe to tell the public to what they are doing as a family to assist police, maybe so that we can know the whereabouts of this victim. So truly, somebody wonder whether this was a real abduction, or maybe somewhere, somehow, people are playing with our mind. I submit. Thank you.
Thank you. I will recognize is that Mayani? And immediately after you, the honorable member at the back. What constituency is that?
Mchisi South.
Thank you. In that order, please.
Mr. First Deputy Speaker, thanks for recognizing the people of the Zamayani constituency to contribute on the statement that has been presented by the Minister of Homeland Security. As we understand, indeed, the security issues are very sensitive, and sometimes we may make assumptions which might not be for the good of the investigations and sometimes of the institution. But Mr. First Deputy Speaker, because the Minister has said we should try to provide some suggestions, and I like that part from his statement, because we might stand here we don't know who will be next. Because when these people start doing these things and they get something good out of it, they will be targeting more and more. And I think members of parliament might be more appetizing for those hunting for money. Unfortunately, we don't have the money. Even the family cannot pay that, what if the billions we are demanding. So I want to put that disclaimer that if you capture a member of parliament, they'll end up having nothing. But my point, Mr. First Deputy Speaker, my point to the Malawi Police Service, as a country, if you look back 30 years ago, the Malawi Police Service had helicopters. And I'm wondering, in this new era, that you may try to chase the abductors who are using a 4x4 Land Cruiser, and you are trying to catch up with them. I think by the time you are trying to find them, they will have disappeared a long distance. I wish if this House could help the minister to have some choppers, helicopters for emergencies, because this is very important for city security. Almost in all critical cities in this world, they do have such kind of services. And that could have helped in terms of trying to do a good chase of such. Because when you are, if you are high up in the sky, you have an advantage, rather than when people are hiding in their streets and doing their chase, they will disappear from you from a simple corner. So I would like to appeal to say one of the security enhancement in his institution should be to consider at least having a helicopter as they used to have in the past. And I know the government budget is so tight, but you may appeal to the development partners like China and the others. Maybe they'll be willing to provide us with a little of those small ones. They can help. So my appeal, Mr. First Deputy Speaker, chasing abductors or robbers who are using high-speed cars, and you are also in a similar car, you never catch them. They'll disappear on the corner. The next issue I want to also suggest to the Minister of Homeland Security is the issue of about emergency phones. Our security institution, especially police, I remember about 15 years or 20 years ago, they had brought the emergency number 997, which the robbers knew that it was a good weapon for the police. So what they did to discourage the police, they kept on calling them to wrong places. And so they could call as if there's an emergency until the police were discouraged and they discontinued the number. So, but that was a good initiative. So my suggestion is, Honorable Minister of Homeland Security, bring back the emergency numbers, because by the time that people are trying to say whom should we call at the police, then we are losing a good time. But that, to avoid the previous abuse, then the issue of phone registration with some more validity issues, like people now are going digital, and the digital meaning now fingerprints and the other biodata, as people put it, is going to be very important, because the phone abuse is almost everywhere. So we would like to say, if somebody abuses your phone at the police, you should be able to identify, to say, you called us for a false report, and then now we will arrest you, not abduct you. We will arrest you for that. So those are my two suggestions, Mr. First Deputy Speaker.
Thank you. Mchisi South, you have the floor.
Thank you so much, Mr. Second Deputy Speaker, for recognizing GC South. Mine is just an appeal to the Homeland Security. Today we are discussing this issue because of the caliber of the person who has been abducted, and the abduction happened at a strategic place. But as members of the parliament here, we represent different people, and this kind of abductions in our communities, areas, has been happening. So my appeal to the police that I think they should bring awareness to the country and how we can be safe in different strategies, so that once it happens even to the local people, to the people that are not well privileged, they should also feel secured and that the police can be able to track. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Finally, Lilongwe Nyanja constituency.
Thank you so much, Your Honor, the Second Deputy Speaker, for recognizing the people of Lilongwe Nyanja constituency on something bad which happened in this great nation. The Minister would like to personally thank him because he has shown statesmanship by actually recognizing that and accepting that what actually happened affects national confidence. He has also highlighted that it actually has national security concerns. Honorable First Deputy Speaker, if you look at how these things are happening now and again, it is actually sad and very, very bad in positioning our country as we try to get more tourists in order to help us on the forex issues. Honorable Speaker, on a very serious note, I'd like to get assurance from the Minister. In the event that we've done all these things that we're doing, we are debating, sharing ideas and whatnot, at the end, God willing, these people have been apprehended by our able police, you take them to court, everything has gone smoothly and they are imprisoned. Are we sure that will not get into the same cycle? Why am I saying this? Allow me to bring you to 1st December when I lost during a debate session. I had laws in this noble house just to give caution on issues which had happened some time back pertaining to one of the people who was murdered in the police cells. And I had pleaded in this house through you. We were chairing that day. I pleaded in this house when we were passing the votes for prison services that I believe, and I have deep felt belief, that these monies that we are allocating shall not be used to pardon those who are involved in murder cases. And most of the times, these people who are involved in these murder cases, you find them that they are armed, like what we saw on that clip. I want the Minister to give confidence to this House that those who are a security threat, having gone through all relevant court procedures and are convicted, shall not be pardoned anyhow, because it affects even the morale of the police service and even other officers who were involved in doing those. As I wind up, Your Honor, the First Deputy Speaker, elsewhere when such things are happening, looking at how our dear doctor, the late Bobby, was murdered, and several other patches of murder cases which have happened just recently. Elsewhere, when it gets to this level, ministers do pave way to ensure that new blood and new faces take charge of the items under threat. I want to understand, Your Honor, the First Deputy Speaker, having done all these things, at what point, if the minister feels like he has accepted that there is a national security issue which has breached, I would like to find out at what stage, in the interest of this nation, I'm not lobbying for anything, or members from this side are lobbying for anything. At what stage in this contemporary nation, in this era, 21st century, that the Honourable Minister may consider maybe to pave way so that these things are done ably. Thank you, Your Honour, Mr. First Deputy Speaker.
Honourable member, the issue at hand, Honourable member for Lilongwe Nyanja, the issue at hand has been soberly debated by this House, and it is a serious matter. Possibly, it is not to the interest of the chair. Order, Honourable members, order. It is not to the interest of this chair to politicize or allow this House politicize an issue as important as it is, and the way the House has debated it. If I knew that was your content, you could have been number one, so that we finish on a higher note. But thank God we have a higher note coming up. The Honourable Minister would have to make a few remarks on some suggestions that have been brought to the House. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, the First Deputy Speaker, and the members who have made their contributions after my presentation over the issue of the abducted person, Mr. Sacrane. Firstly, I must say that I pride myself for being once a police officer and for also serving as the Inspector General of Police. And I'll be speaking on my experience. Police has ever been a very professional service, but unfortunately it has been dampened by the politicians. You are right. I hope everybody is aware how we have disarmed our police officers to the extent of even arming them with panga knives. We have seen them being paraded in our streets, harming innocent civilians in this country. So the professionalism which has been being talked in this House is man-made, and it is being made by we politicians. And we must be very ashamed for that. As I've indicated, this is a third abduction of high profile in this country. The first one, which occurred here at Falls, I think it happened not during our time. Yes. And I don't know who the minister at that time was. And I don't want to engage myself in politicking, as I already indicated. And thirdly, let me say that the statements and the ways of wisdom that have been provided in trying to add skills and value to our police officers is well taken by this minister, and we will be looking again for your support. But I must assure you that we are on top of things. As indicated, there are complex cases to investigate, and one of those cases is this one of the abduction. There are times which you need to release information, and sometimes you need to hold it, with much consideration to the victim as well as again to the family members. So when we are commenting, I already requested that please let us not politic on these issues. It's a serious matter. It's a national concern, and we all must be concerned, mainly us as honorable members. So in closing, I thank you, Honorable First Deputy Speaker, and those that have aired their ways of wisdom, encouraging our officers' uniform. I know people would try always to politicize almost everything anyway. So I thank you so much, Honorable Speaker. I submit. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honour members, I will, before the leader makes guidance for tomorrow, the sergeant at arms is keeping car keys that were forgotten somewhere. So if you really came here driving, please make sure you check for your key before you leave, because the vehicle would need that key for it to start. If you don't find your key, check them with the sergeant at arms in their office. That's the announcement I wanted to make. And to applaud the Ministry of police, Homeland Security, and the police in specific for the other good jobs that they're doing. We've heard what happened in Deza yesterday, people trying to smash the whole track of mains, and 2 of them, as I speak, they were shot of those robbers. I think that's positive to our nation, and I believe those that would like to attempt with the security of this country will be dealt with so that we live in a peaceful Malawi going forward. Honorable Leader, for guidance on tomorrow business.
Not much, First Deputy Speaker, but before I provide the guidance, to also commend the Minister for Homeland Security for being able to respond to a very sensitive matter at a very short space of time. Ordinarily, would have been talking about tomorrow, but he was able to bring a response on the very day the question was posed. I would like to commend him very much. That said, tomorrow we'll continue with the debate on the SONA. I submit, First Deputy Speaker, and good evening.
But as guided by the leader, tomorrow we continue with debate. Let those that are ready to debate, please be prepared with our submissions to the debate. And leader, to applaud you and the cabinet on the executive order that we have seen on the social media coming from the president. That is very prompt. The chair would like to applaud the president and the cabinet for coming up very prompt on the executive order today. Leader, we wanted to straighten up that. Honour members, it's time now to go back to our respective hotels in Lilongwe. And I, therefore, would like to adjourn the House to tomorrow afternoon, 2 p.m., when the second Deputy Speaker takes the chair to preside. House adjourned.
Mmenemo ndi mmene inathera parliament dzulo. Makamaka adatsindika pa nkhani yokhuzana ndi chitetezo cha dziko lino, ndipo nkhani inamanga nthenje kwambiri ndi imeneyi yokhuzana ndi kubedwa kwa Mwenye. Nde mbali zonse zotsutsa komanso zolamula zinapereka maganizo awo pa nkhani imeneyi ya chitetezo. Mwamvamo mmene anthu akukamba zosiyanasiyana. Iyayi tibwerese ma helicopter, iyayi pakhale ma CCTV, masitemu ndi zina zambiri zimene zinakambidwa mmenemo. Nde kwa amene mungotipeza kumene, tapangani subscribe, tapangani like, tapangani share. Kwambiri tapangani comment kuti timve maganizo anu pamene zakambidwa zinthu zosiyanasiyana mmenemo. Kufikira nthawi ina, ife ku Malawi lero tingoti makoma nonse.